Living in an illusion is not a new idea. A lot of movies, books, and TV shows have explored characters living in a reality that they begin to suspect is not the really real reality. At the end, there's always the twist. Is the character insane and living in a reality of their own making? Is the character trapped in a synthetic reality by an outside force such as an AI or aliens? Has the character accidentally entered an alternative dimension? Then there's the classic but perhaps cop-out ending of "it was all a dream." Usually, these alternate reality stories reveal the cause behind the character's trip away from reality, but at times the story will leave it up to the viewer or reader to determine what is real and what is not. While some of these stories are more enjoyable than others, the reality is that reality itself becomes a little more tenuous every day.
Did you notice that you haven't been listening to a human? Instead, you've been listening to a synthetic voice. And so is this one.
Okay, so now I'm real. Seriously. But it now might require some guesswork to determine if you're listening to a real person or an AI-generated voice. What's real, what's not, it's getting harder to tell. AI has made it easier than ever to take a trip from reality to places that have never existed, talk to individuals who have never breathed, and have relationships with entities incapable of any actual emotion. For many of us, a flicker of something in our mind says this isn't real. Is it the too perfect shininess of the food, the over-the-top and yet somehow still lacking any emotional quality of the writing, or the soulless expression of the eyes that makes some niggle of doubt wriggle through our brains? Not very long ago, it was easier to tell when something wasn't real. Most people don't have 4 sets of teeth. But as AI progresses, so too does its ability to fool even the most suspicious of people. Want to test yourself? Did you find the artwork or photos easier to determine? Drop a comment. Figuring out the reality or lack thereof of an innocuous video, picture, or voice can give one a feeling of self-satisfaction. However, the growing quality of deepfakes, AI chatbots, and synthetic media can alter our perception of reality, make it hard to tell what is real, and even do damage. Deepfakes are perhaps one of the most obvious of these AIs in their potential for doing great harm. 30 minutes in one clear shot of a person's face can generate a video that has them saying or doing things they never said or did. As one can imagine, a huge majority of these deepfakes are pornographic in nature. The law finally caught up to this crime with the Take It Down Act signed into law by President Trump on May 19, 2025. While a step in the right direction, the Take It Down Act requires that the videos and photos, whether real or synthetic, be reported and then gives the host 48 hours to comply with the request and make reasonable efforts to remove copies. While this makes sense from a business standpoint, the reality is that the video might already have spread further than reasonable efforts reach, and as often said, once in the internet, nothing really goes away. Although I used a synthetic voice generator at the beginning of this video, AI voice generators can also copy a real person's voice well enough to fool people and cause a great deal of harm. A principal discovered that his high school's athletic director had misused school funds. He was taking appropriate action when a recording was sent to 3 teachers of the principal making racist and anti-Semitic remarks. One of the teachers, who didn't like the principal, shared the recording with a gossipy student, media, and the NAACP. The principal was put on leave, and he even received death threats. Only the recording that sounded like the principal had been created using an AI voice generator copying the principal's voice and some additional editing. The investigation eventually cleared the principal, and charges for both the theft and the threatening behavior and retaliation were filed against the athletic director. With it so easy to fake reality, and people's desire to believe what they want to believe, AI makes it easier than ever to do great harm. Even sweet and whimsical AI-generated content is not without problems. Many times that sweet and whimsical content perfectly emulates the style of a real artist or writer. Here are 2 images. One is by Beatrix Potter of Peter Rabbit fame. The other was created by ChatGPT in the style of Beatrix Potter. A fervent fan of Miss Potter's art might recognize the image, but for many people, telling the difference between the 2 would be a guess. What's yours? If you guess that the one on the right is a genuine Beatrix Potter, congratulations, you're right. But if one is fully honest, he or she will probably admit that the picture on the left almost had, or did have, them fooled. While determining which image is true isn't going to win anyone a prize, it does illustrate just how much AI has shaken our grasp of reality. Social media sites already have experimented with fake people. A person might chat with someone he or she thinks is a kind grandfather, only to realize he's just an artificial intelligence generated by a social media platform. While backlash resulted in some of these accounts being removed, many companies are still experimenting. AI influencers are another increasingly common use of AI. From a company's standpoint, an AI influencer is cheaper, never ages, and won't be leaving for a more lucrative offer. Plus, many influencers also use AI tools to smooth out imperfections, so he or she might already have a slight fake quality to their videos. Can you tell who is real and who is synthetic? If you guess the girl with sunglasses is the real human influencer, you're right. However, it should be noted that the AI video generator used is still in the experimental stage and isn't one of the best ones. For a quick glance, she might be able to fool one or with additional edits. Of course, the longer the video goes on, the more likely it is that it will become obvious an AI influencer isn't real, at least for now. Want a second chance? Here's a real influencer and a synthetic one created with a better AI video generator. Did this one almost or actually fool you? AI is still developing, with each company eager to create the video generator, voice generator, or text generator capable of passing for human. As AI continues to learn, it can become harder to recognize real from synthetic. It's long been a given that one can never trust anything one reads, hears, or sees online. With AI making it easier than ever to create media that is a better and better imitation of reality, that's truer than ever. But perhaps one of the biggest problems is that when everything could be fake, humans can be pushed to 2 extremes. Either they believe nothing, including things that are real, or they believe everything, including things that are not. Numerous studies have already suggested that AI damages a person's critical thinking skills. And in a world where determining the real amongst the synthetic is increasingly difficult, losing our critical thinking skills is perhaps not a cost we can afford to pay. Whether one loves it or hates it, AI is a tool that has many uses and many misuses. At Swan Software Solutions, we use AI to amplify our skills and help our clients put AI to use in their companies. To discover more about how our team can help your team with AI or other technology needs, visit swansoftwaresolutions.com.